luckily I caught a little bit of a glimpse of an orange fence across the path there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that path closed right now?
Well, it closes and opens as how their construction is, what's going on. Obviously, if they have trucks going back and forth, then it should be closed. It, for the lack of a better term, basically IDOT commandeered that path when they deem necessary that it's important to close it, and they'll open it when they think it could be opened. So right now on that west side, they're putting in the sewers, as you saw, so the green piping's all there. So they've got heavy equipment and trucks rolling through there. So they close it and they open it and they close it. The fact of the matter is with that, what we faced with the Little Calumet project is that people walk around those fences or go through them or move them all the time. So technically it's closed, but people are going to still walk around it. So you have to be alert and make sure you know that if you're walking around it that there's construction traffic.
Now, the way the fence was constructed and it was getting dark, I just went and turned around and go the other way. Typically, I would be one of those people.
Right.
You know, there's nobody out there, there's nobody working. You know, I can go around. You know, maybe they have stuff laying out there or whatever. But yep, you know, hopefully there's not too much disruption to that walking path, even over the winter. On a day like today, when it's going to be sunny and 40s, I mean, you could have several hundred people walk that thing in a few hours this afternoon.
Correct.
And they're, you know, hopefully the fence isn't up and they're able to get around. But it's all for progress, and we all know that. Let's go to the phone lines already.
Correct.
People want to talk to you at 219-845-1100. Let's go to the, hey, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, Jed. Ed Lomelli, how are you?
Hey, Eddie.
Hello, Ed.
How are you? I just wanted to say and thank Mr. Mrvan. Real quick story. It's just maybe spread a little holiday cheer. We had a firefighter, not to go into specifics, daughter, deceased firefighter that ran into some financial problems, and she's got 3 children. And she's down to her last end of her rope, and she contacted us, and we contacted Mr. Mrvan's office, and between our local and Mr. Mrvan's office, we caught her up. We got her some gas for her car. We got her to be able to go out and go for some job interviews. We got presents for her kids, and Mr. Mrvan helped her out with some stuff for her financial needs for her home. She was getting ready to get thrown out of her home. And I just want to say people don't realize how much the North Township Trustee's office really does. And Mr. Mrvan doesn't give himself enough credit and go around and let people know what he really does. But I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Mrvan. And I think you're doing an outstanding job for the public in this time of need, especially these hard economical times.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
And as you well know, her father gave his life protecting our community. And so
Absolutely.
It's the least we can do.
All right, Eddie, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about, and maybe we should know. I mean, I don't know if there's been any attempts at raising money outside of the township or whatever, but it sounds like that might be one of those situations. But we'll take that at another time. Let's go to Victor on line 1. Hey, Victor.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, Frank. One thing I appreciate you being there, and I'm glad you're on the show to listen to us. With the Iraq thing, that's a real tragedy. I've got a family they spent a lot of time there, and I know people that died there, and it looks like we're moving the conflict to America now. I've been listening for a couple of weeks about this, legislation that's being added to the Defense Department budget that essentially will allow military to arrest people without due process and hold them with indeterminate amount of time, again, with no due process. And when I listen to the senators talk about it, they talk about the problem is in America so deep that they have to allow the military to be able to arrest people.
All right, hey,
I
got to tell you, that's a big one.
Something else. One other quick thing about that.
Hey, no, Vic, that's a big one. We'll address it, but we got other things that we got to do a little more local. Thanks. You comment on that? Have you been following it?
I haven't. I'm not going to speak on something.
I'm not all that versed on that either. But let's get back to actual North Township business. of course, Frank is in charge of the park and the cemetery and number of grounds, but also of poor relief. Let's go back to the cemetery, the Oak Hill Cemetery on what is that, 165th and
165th and Holman,
and
bordered
Holman.
by Kenwood.
Yeah,
Correct.
and evidently it has been left more or less
Abandoned.
unmaintained. But let's be nice about it. And you guys, by law, have to take an action there.
Correct. By law, we took over the maintenance. So last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, right after Thanksgiving, we were out there. We cleared the tree line so the public can begin to see it. We cut the grass, blew the leaves. We had a number of volunteers who were out there helping us. And what our goal is to restore that cemetery back to the respectability of the standards of our community. Every day, and everyone expects politicians to exaggerate, but every single day we get 3 or 4 phone calls from family members that are checking on or have an issue with the cemetery. So first of all, the current status is we took over by law the maintenance. Now we are in the process of taking over the operations, which means that we will be in total control of it going forward.